Roland GS-24 motherboard. Let me show you what's going on. And we have another ripped off USB B port. This one is also from a school. And what we have found out, if they can break it, they will. This one also appears to have trace damage. So we'll have a little more work cut out for us. For your orientation purposes, the targeted area is where we'll be working on this side of the board. And when we turn it over, we will be here. We're preparing to remove this port. But in order to remove this port, I must turn on my equipment. And while I turn on my equipment, let me throw up my expected temperatures for this job. These temperatures are brought to you by the associate links in the description. If you go to my video description and click on one of these links and buy any of this equipment, a small portion of that purchase will go to supporting the channel. And I greatly appreciate you. It won't cost you an extra dime. So my primary concern is going to be this bad boy right here. It's probably going to take this pad with it, but we'll do our best to save what we can of it. The rest of them look okay. And then we gotta get this remainder of this shield off. This is what the remainder of the port usually looks like. I'm gonna apply some low melt on the top here of this one. And the rest will just low melt from below. Okay. Now we'll flip the board. Low melt everything as much as we can. Low melt it. Just grab our tweezers and we'll pull whatever pins we can. We have to come out the other side on that one. And that one. Do some wiggling. Get this one out. Okay, one out. Two out. Grab these pins, you can see. I think that's the rest of our trace. I don't think there's a pin still attached to it. Let's see if we can flatten it out a little bit here. Okay. It may be salvageable. We'll see. Very gently gonna wick. I'm going to flip it over to do the other ones. I don't want to knock anything off on accident. There's nothing on this side really to knock off. Like I said, with the wick, don't worry about sitting it on the pad. It's better than trying to scrub back and forth sometimes. Just wait till you see it saturate. Especially with low melt, not too bad. Low melt and good wick. Well, this one is about used up. Press wick. Excellent. Make sure it's not bridging to anything else, but other than that, I think it's going to be usable. We will find out. Oh, geez. We did not want to do that. We were a little bit rough. That was not good. Well, that took care of part of that. Boo hiss. Oh well. That'll be enough connection as long as we don't mess it up more. The trick, however, is going to be get solder through that. Because we do not get to see the pins. I'll show you what I mean. We may end up running a jumper. I am not going to be able to get my soldering iron in there to solder that when it's flat to the board. So we're going to have to, I think, run a jumper through the hole just so that we're 100% certain that we're going to have connection, because I don't have a way of soldering it to this side, and we have no pad on this side. So that's going to be our solution. In that case, doesn't really matter if we have any of this left or not. I don't see a reason to tear it off, but at the same time, it's not going to do us any favors. Not a big deal. I think we'll just run it straight from this choke. Unfortunately, I think this thing's just going to get in our way. Attempt to break it off. There we go. We don't need loose conductive metal running around. Switch to our black Ineasies. I don't think this wire needs to be particularly microscopic. We will need to tin our solder points. Might as well tin them both. We can use them both. Grab our wonderful Pico pencil. Just dot this out of there. Dot the leaded out of there. Any little bit will help. Do some scraping and burning. That'll do. Beautiful joint. Scraping and burning here. Oops. Didn't mean to take it off there, but it's alright. Try again. There we go. I think that'll be fine. I'm going to feed it through gently. I think that'll work. Clean it off, and we're going to secure it down over here because we don't need it to connect up here. What we're going to do is wire wrap it on the bottom pin. Get this flux out of here as much as possible. Next thing we'll do is solder mask. So I'm going to mask it up, secure it. We don't want this thing to move at all. So we'll just cake some of it on here. It ain't got to be pretty. Okay, safe for other repairs. If you want pretty, don't rip off your port. We're going to turn on the UV lamp, walk away for a little while, let it cure, and go from there. It's been some time. Had to run off and do some stuff, so I had plenty of time to cure. Should be rock solid at this point. Now we just need to get the port back on, and we should be done with this guy. Of course, we'll have to wrap the wire and all that fun stuff. Let's go ahead and get the port on there first. Snapped into place. Make sure we did not cut our wire. Our wire has not been cut. Excellent. Get our equipment back on. Flux helps things flow, but it's also a cleaning detergent. Keeps things from getting oxidated. We hit these anchor points first. Quite a little bit of solder to get through on these. Let's check and see. That one looks good. Looks pretty good. We may come in after and hit those a little bit more from the top. Let's go ahead and do our pins. Okay. Grab our Ineasies again, and now we need to do some wrapping gently. We don't want to break the wire. But we want plenty of wraps. We're not counting on this leg for any structural strength, but we do want it well connected. It's a very old school way It will not be as neat as the old school guys do. I have known some old school ham radio operators who make this wire wrapping into an art form. Look like works of art, literally. That will not be me. I think that's probably good enough. I may have misjudged this and have to use the big iron. We'll see. Get some more flux on there. Trying to make sure it's well softened and not breached. I think that's probably pretty good. Let's break that off. The excess wire. As when I clean up this burn up flux while it's still relatively malleable. Relatively, I mean relatively. Good. And good. We want to hit this with the air gun, and then we'll have one last look at it and test to make sure we have continuity from that coil to the pin, if we can. Go from there. I hope you're getting value out of this video. Just a reminder, if you find you're not ready to tackle this, I do offer these services, both locally and mail-in. Just head over to micromage.repair, click free quote, fill out the form, and I'll get back to you personally. If you mention this video, I'll give you 10% off on your repair. Okay, let's see if I can get a test in here now. Why am I not getting any continuity? Oh, there we go. Okay, I am getting continuity on the wire and the leg, and not getting continuity through the choke. So I think we're screwed on this choke. I think that coil is definitely broken. So I'm definitely going to have to contact the customer. I did order some chokes that I'm hopeful will work. They are single line chokes, so I'll have to use 2 of them. I looked up, USB data line chokes and found some similar to this, except they were single line. We'll contact the customer and let them know that there has been a complication and go from there. But the parts are on the way. It's been several business days and our filters have arrived that we're hopeful are going to work for this thing. The first order of business is going to be to remove the broken filter, and we're going to have to take some care on that one. So I will low melt this if I have to. The low melt band might just be enough. Let it go. It's only on by like 1. There we go. I have no idea if this will even work. We may need 2 of them. That might be about hand solder these things though. That would be nice. I think the Pico pencil can handle this. We'll find out. It's one side. There's 2 sides. We need to get our jumper back in place. Ideally without burning anything. Need more flux. Yeah, it's solid. As is the filter. Let's do a quick test. Alright, we have continuity. Whether that's going to work, we will not know until they test it. We'll put another one on this other pad. May have to come in this the other direction. One side. steadiness on the side. Test. We have continuity. That is good. That'll have to work. That is as good as we can get this one. I do have another one to do, so might as well do that in the same video. I don't know if I want to do that in the same video. This one's one we both missed. And this one is one we did in a prior video, and somehow we both missed this damaged. And this one's going to require some trace repair, because we don't have 2 pads, unfortunately. This might be a job for lugs. Let me see what we got as far as lugs go. Get this off, it's not going to be any help. Okay, do we have anything that'll work decently on that? Maybe these. Maybe. I think we can create a new pad with those. Yeah. This may be one of those jobs where we want to UV coat it down first and then solder it. Set it aside for a moment. Grab some solder mask. Doesn't need to be a lot, it just needs to hold it in one spot. I probably didn't want to do that pad there yet. Just get most of that up. Just enough where it's not in the way. I mean, I guess we could do both lugs at the same time. It's not going to matter. We don't have to do them one at a time. Going to need them both. So with this method, we just kind of get it in place inside the solder mask. Grab another one. Put some more UV mask where we got it back up there. Looking to knock the other one off. Trying to place this one. Okay, can you stop jumping over to that one? That'd be cool. Okay. Get them relatively in position. Well, kind of precisely in position. It doesn't matter if we cover it, because it will scrape off once they're in place. I think that's going to work. And we're going to give them a quick tack down with a laser. We will do a full cure before we solder anything on. But this is just so we can solder them to the resistors there without them moving. Use your eye protection when using these lasers. Wire. They should not be coated, so they should solder pretty easy. Okay, probably test to make sure we're getting continuity. We're definitely not on that one. Shoot. These things are a little bit brittle, so unfortunately we may have to take this one back up. We had breakage before we wanted breakage. The only issue with lugs is they're awkward to work with and they're brittle. They break too dang easy. And this one broke off way up here. So that's not very useful to us. Try everything off so we can put some more UV coating down. And we'll put another lug down. Grab another lug. This one's kind of bent in the direction we need anyway. It's nice. Well, at least at this point, nice. Okay. Grab our eye protection. You don't need it through the screen, but I need it for my eyes. Okay, should be enough to hold it in place. Let's grab some flux. See if we can't get this wire on here this time without it breaking. More solder. There we go. I think we got that time. Take our tail. Make sure we have continuity. There we go. That's exactly what I want to hear. Clean up. We're going to UV solder mask the rest of it down. We'll clean gently here. But we do need all this flux gone. More solder mask. Try to get up all on these joints here, because when I go to hand solder these, I don't want to accidentally knock it off the resistors. It's okay if we make a mess. Non-conductive, so it doesn't matter if it bridges over to the other side. Won't hurt it a bit. We're going to stick our UV lamp on here for a while, walk away, let it cure, go from there. Alright, everything looks solid now. We need to do some gentle scraping of our pads. By gentle, I mean gentle. Okay. Shouldn't be enough to solder to. Would have liked a little more coverage on this bottom one, but I think we'll be okay. Tin the pads and mix in some leaded on these. Get some solder on you, please. Oh, okay. Any mountains. One at a time. Now we find out if these pads were big enough. So far, not impressive. Okay, that one's in its place. This other side soldered. I don't care if it's crooked, as long as it's in place and we have continuity. Try this side again. Definitely not down. Come on. Solder. That feels solid. Continuity! Yay! Now we find out if we can get the other one on without messing this one up. I'm full of good news, right? In the end, this may all not work. We'll see. Ain't any good when we do that to it. Okay. Feel like we got it down. Flip it around. A little more flux. This is not too far over to get it onto this pad. Or it might just be. Yeah, it's too damn far over, unfortunately. It's not even on this pad anyway. Okay. Now it's all the way on that one. Onto this one. Did we make contact? Hard to say. Let's test for continuity. We have it. Alright. Doesn't have to look perfect. Let's clean up. That side looks reasonable. And that one looks about as reasonable as we can get it. The torn pads make this modification a little more difficult, but we got there. And our final results on the first one. Again, looks good, and that's the one we had to run the jumper to the leg for. Should hopefully work, but I will make the ending of this once we know the results of our modification. Okay, and everything worked out in this repair. The filters worked perfectly. The customers were very happy. Excellent. If you got value out of this video, I think you'll get value out of this one, and I'll see you there. Until then, have a blessed day. If you got value out of this video, I think you'll get value out of this one. And let's try that again. It was going to be such a good transition.